Hello, I'm just going to do a little tutorial today because I'm getting ready for an event in Pitstone on the 22nd of July 2023. It's going to be a really good family day out, or for anybody really. At Growing Bright, we're going to be there with one of our stalls. We're going to be selling decorated tin cans, so I wanted to show you how to make that today. So this is a tin can that's been used, probably baked beans or something like that. It's been washed, it's been treated so that the label comes off with a bit of sort of WD-40, tiny bits. I don't like to use chemicals unless I have to. It's been painted with white acrylic paint, and now I'm ready to decorate this. There's quite a bit of work preparing the tins, but it's really nice to reuse them, and then it'd end up in the recycling. It's going to look lovely when we've finished. So today I'm going to decorate it with a napkin, and I found this one yesterday in a supermarket and thought, wow, that's really nice, it's going to look lovely on a tin. So I bought it and brought it home, and it occurred to me that I just pick up napkins usually, use them on a picnic or for a birthday or something, but now they're really valuable little pieces of artwork to me. So it's funny how my perception of napkins has changed since doing this. I'm less likely to want to sort of just chuck them away now. So anyway, this one is what I'm going to use today. So the first step is to work out which way I want the pattern to go. On this particular napkin we've got some kind of leaf or raindrop shapes on here. They're kind of the dominant feature, so they could go up, they could go sideways, or they could go down. I quite liked the down angle because it looks a bit like a raindrop, but then I don't know, something about them going up feels a bit more positive to me, a bit like a leaf. So I'm going to prepare the napkin now to put around the edge. So on the tin you've got a lip at the top and a lip at the bottom, and what I need to do is to cut the napkin to size. You could keep this orange kind of border on, but I'm not going to do that today. So first of all I'm going to cut all around the top here, and then I'm going to show you how to cut the bottom piece. Okay, so I've cut all the orange bits off at the top. I've left a tiny bit of a white border here because I think that would look quite nice. So that will fit really neatly under the lip of that tin. So what I'm going to do is just wrap it all the way around now, just to get it in the right position, okay, so we can cut the bottom piece off. So make sure it's really nice and tight. You don't want kind of any baggy bits underneath the tin here, because otherwise it's not going to fit when we stick it on. It's going to be like wrinkly and stuff. So once you've got that nice and securely around the top, and you've got it in the right place, you need to feel for the ridge at the bottom. And what we're going to do is score around this ridge so that we have a line in the right place, and then we can cut that line. What I found works best is you get your hand and all your fingernails and run it around the tin. Then you're kind of gripping the napkin and pushing it down in a bigger kind of area, so it keeps it more taut to the tin. So you just keep doing this until you get all the way around. And then if I take that off, I don't know if you can see, but there's a line along here. It's quite faint, but it's enough to be able to cut. So I'm now going to cut that with the scissors. There we go. We now have our piece cut really beautifully to size. It's going to look lovely. So I'm pleased with that, that's good. Right, and then the next bit, this is where it gets a bit challenging, but fun. Obviously this napkin is bigger than the tin. If we overlap it, we're going to see the pattern coming through underneath, and it's going to look a bit, I don't know, a bit too much going on really, unless that's the look you want. I'm going to take this orange piece off because I don't want that line on there. So just to start with, I'm going to do this. And what we do is we tear it. If we cut this with scissors, you're going to see the line when we stick this down. But if we tear, you get that lovely fluffy kind of edge, and that kind of blends into the tin when we glue it, and you might get a seamless finish if you're lucky. Tiny bit of orange there, so I'm just going to pick that off. There we go. So we have this side, and then I'm going to fold that over and just see what we've got. So on Sewing Bee, I don't know if you ever watched that, but they do pattern matching. Now we're not going to get pattern matching here. It's just not going to work. But what we can do is try and get the pattern so it blends in. So what we could do here is, I quite like this shape. So we could tear around this shape here and around this one, so that we're left with a nice kind of pattern there. And then we've got to do the same with the underneath bit. It's not going to be perfect, but what we're going to do is try our best. So let's do that. So I've torn around here to get so that we kind of isolate the pattern here. Again, it's not perfect, but these are meant to look a bit rustic. So underneath, we still have some pattern here. So what I'm going to do is try and just tear around the underneath napkin so that it follows the shape of this one. So when we glue it together, there'll be a nice kind of seam there, a nice blended seam. So I'm going to do that now. Quite a good fit. I think that will look good when it's glued together. There might be a bit of overlap, but you know, that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is just prepare this ready for gluing, which is the mega fun part. As you'll probably know, there's like layers in these. It's called 3-ply or usually, or something like that. It means there's 3 layers of tissue here. So you need to kind of have a bit of patience. And I just pick at one edge, just to try and catch that top layer there. And then this is my top layer. It's so beautiful and delicate, it's almost like silk. So that's really nice. That's going to go on here now, so we're going to get some glue. Now what I like to use is Mod Podge. Love this glue. This is an outdoor one, an exterior one, and it's just quite hard wearing, so even if you did want to put this tin outside, it would last for a little while. It's not going to be completely weatherproof, but it's going to be quite tough, so that's what we're going to use. Okay, so I've got my brush ready, my Mod Podge is open, Mod Podge, yeah, and I'm going to use it straight out of the bottle here because it dries up quite quickly, so I don't want to put it in a jar and waste any. So I'll just put a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to just brush under where the end of the napkin's going to rest. It does dry quite quickly, so I'm going to just do a little bit at a time. It doesn't matter if it gets on the rim of the tin because it will dry see-through anyway. So I've put it on here. I'll just move that out of the way. Put the glue on, you won't be able to see that, but I'm going to now fold the napkin over and just paint over the top. I'll see if I can get a bit closer so you can see how it kind of blends the edge into the tin where we tore it. It's really nice, I love this bit. Just flip my brush around there, so just go all the way around. Then you have to be really careful because as the napkin gets wet, it can tear. So don't go over it too many times. You're just trying to get it to stick to the tin, and also to push it into the ridges of the tin so you get that lovely tin can shape. So I'm just going to continue doing that now all the way around. final piece, really exciting. So I've already glued under the tin. I just wanted to show you the really satisfying bit of when it kind of blends together. I left a little gap here, just thought that looked nice. So I'm just paying particular attention to the seam. It's really hard to see that now. I think we've done a good job there. So yeah, sticking that bit down here. This is where the join is. Tiny bit of, you can see a tiny bit of overlap there, but I think that's okay. So just continue to paint all the way around, make sure it's stuck down, get those lovely grooves visible. Really like this napkin actually, it's the first time I've tried this one. There we go. Right, I'm happy with that. Let's have a look. Here it is, our finished tin. I really like this. I don't know what it reminds me of, some sort of French kind of, I don't know, bistro or something. I don't know how to describe it, but I really like that. I think that could go with all sorts of kind of decoration, interior design. You could put a plant in it, you could put keys in it, you could put loose change or pens, paint brushes, so many things. Plant labels, I don't know, just loads of ideas, and I just think it looks really pretty. So thanks for sharing that with me today. I hope you enjoyed it.